Hey guys, what's going on? I got a different kind of video for you today. If you've been around the channel, you know this is very different for me. If you're new to the channel, hello, but today we're talking about this. This is, as you probably saw in the title, an RG7421 Pearl Fade Metallic color by Ibanez. This is my brand new guitar that I just got, and let me preface a couple things. I'm not good at guitar, so don't expect any crazy shredding or anything that's going to show what the guitar is really capable of. And this is only my second guitar that I actually have played. My first guitar was an Ibanez Micro, grew out of it pretty quick, and moved on to this back here, which is my dad's Carvin from like the 90s. And I have an acoustic guitar, but I don't play it that much. So this is kind of the second guitar that I'm actually going to play on a regular basis. And it's my first new guitar as well, so again, technicalities, the other two were new, but I don't play them much, so I don't really count them. And they were both dirt cheap. This is not dirt cheap, but for a brand new 7-string guitar, it's pretty cheap. $399, $399.99, $400, you know. So that's a good price point, I think, and I looked up a lot of stuff about the guitar prior to getting it because I wanted to be as informed about it as possible, and I never saw anyone reviewing it with this color. So I'll try to get some nice camera shots of this. It's a pearl fade to black metallic paint, which is very nice, and I don't think the camera is going to do the metallic paint justice, but think of like if you've ever seen a silver car, that kind of paint is what is on this basically, and it looks really nice. So yes, this is my first 7-string guitar and second guitar that I'm actually gonna like play regularly. And some things that I was worried about as a new 7-string guitarist, and this is why I'm making this video, is to review it as someone who is new to 7 strings and maybe, you know, and is not a great player. So that might just be, you know, a little more unique of a perspective, or something that might help someone decide whether they want a 7-string, whether they want this 7-string, whether they're ready to move on to a 7-string. I'm probably not really ready to move on to a 7-string, but I really wanted the low B string. In terms of its construction, one thing I was worried about getting a 7-string was how big was the neck going to be. The neck obviously has to be wider this way for this way for the 7th string, and I was worried about that, but honestly, on this guy, I'll turn up my volume knob here. We have, I'll just show you quickly, we have volume, we have tone, and we have a 5-way selector. So we have the bridge pickup, the neck pickup up here, and then some combination of the two in these middle 3 positions, which I can't remember off the top of my head, but is all on the Ibanez website when you go and look. Okay, sorry about that. Phone ran out of space, so hopefully my SD card is going to work like it hasn't been now. Hopefully it will, at least for a little bit. I was talking about the selector. You can find those options and what they actually each do on the Ibanez website when you go and look at the guitar. On their site, they have a little diagram that shows you what each position for the switch does. I was talking about the neck, too. I got off track when I mentioned the neck. So, I would recommend going to guitar stores if you're thinking about a 7-string and just ask if you can play around on a 7-string and just try it out. And I would not recommend starting with a Schecter. That was my mistake. I picked up a Schecter 7-string first. That was the first 7-string I'd ever held. And I didn't know this about Schecters at the time, but they have remarkably thicker necks. So, for example, this is my hand on here pretty normally. On the Schecter neck, it feels like it's about that much thicker. It's pretty noticeable. And it makes, unless you have really big hands, I guess that just doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. I don't know if this will translate to the camera, but I don't have big hands, especially for a guitar player. My hands are not very big. I can't split my hands very far. I was even born with a crooked pinky on both hands. So I'm not in a great place in terms of, you know, physical traits that make me a guitar player, but the neck feels, honestly, for my tiny hands and for what it is, the neck feels very nice. It's very natural. It doesn't feel like a stretch to get to these top. It doesn't feel like a stretch to get to that top string. Top as in the one on the top of the guitar. people would say it's the lowest string because it's the lowest pitch, but lowest could also mean lowest closest to the full. It's confusing. Anyways, I say highest because it's on top. So this string, the top string, it doesn't feel like a stretch for me, which is very, very nice. The neck also, I think they're using the Wizard 2 maple neck, I think, and I don't know if this will go on camera very well, but basically the neck kind of makes, it's curved at first, and then across the center of the back it's like flat, and then it curves back again, so it's not a consistent curve. It's like curved, flat, curved, which is kind of awkward for me because that's not how the Carvin's neck is. The Carvin's neck over here is a consistent curve, but so it's a little different for me to get used to. But, you know, I feel like the fact that I've only ever played a Carvin it did not set me up very well to go into, like, a, you know, name brand, manufactured, mass-produced guitar that is significantly cheaper than the Carvin was. I mean, it was, anyways, playing a Carvin and then moving on to, like, a main manufactured, like, mass-produced thing would be like a mechanic who's worked on Volkswagens for 30 years and then tries to look at a Ford or something. It's very specific. So, you know, maybe I wasn't ready to move on to a 7-string, but I'm loving it all the same, and I think it sounds really good. I got this, so I'm recording this Saturday morning. I got it Thursday evening at my parents' house in the mail. Then pretty much came straight home, played it a little bit Thursday night, late Thursday night, and a little bit Friday before and after work, and now we're that brings us here to Saturday. So, total, I've probably had maybe 2 hours of practice on this thing, and it feels very natural. One of the first songs I've learned was the Pride part of it, of course, by Five Finger Death Punch. So, I'm going to go ahead and play standing up because I'm more comfortable that way, and you guys can actually see the guitar if I do that. So, here we go. Let's see. Whoop, turn that up and... Again, I'm not a great guitar player, so I'm not doing this guitar any justice, but that just, I mean, I learned that, like I said, I've only had maybe 2.5 cumulative hours of practice on this thing, and I could get all of those notes on this low string, this low pitch string, the top string, very, very easily. It's not a stretch for me at all, which is very, very nice. I think it has quantum H pickups. I think all of this information is going to be on the Ibanez site, which I'll leave a link to their site description of this guitar, because I don't remember all the specs off the top of my head, and that way you guys can go and look at it. But just wanted to make a quick little Noob's review of the Ibanez RG7421 7-string guitar, my first 7-string, and you know, I'm nothing great in terms of guitar playing, of course, so, but I figured I could offer my unique opinion on it as a new 7-string guitar player and as a fairly noobish guitar player in general. So I hope that maybe that helped you decide whether or not you want a 7-string, whether or not you want this 7-string. I think it's a great guitar for the price point. It is a bolt-on neck, if that's going to bother you. You should know that. But it does have a nice like bevel right here for playing sitting down, and even on the front side, I don't know if I can show this very well, but it does kind of come down as well. Bevels on the front as well. So it is good for playing sitting down. I prefer standing up, but it does make it very comfortable when I am sitting down, so that is nice. That's about all I have to say about it right now, and following this there will be a clip, some clips of me unboxing it and trying it out for the first time at my parents' house. But I wanted to lead in with this so that you guys had some context about the guitar and me getting it and everything like that. So, yeah, following will be the clips of unboxing and my first time playing it and tuning it and all that kind of stuff. And that's about it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for checking out this video. I hope it was helpful to some people. And I'm going to be playing the living hell out of this thing until the string falls off. Or the neck does. But hey, it's a bolt-on, so I can get a new neck. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Everyone I've heard from about this guitar says it's well built, and it looks well built. I mean, especially for the price point, it looks good. So yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. Hope this was helpful, and hope to see you all in my next video, whatever it may be. Probably just a gaming video, but hope to see you there. Well, it's good to see that it's packaged well. At least that was one of my concerns, is how well it was going to be packaged. A little light on the tape for my liking, but I get that from my dad. Tape madness. Alright, let's see. That's the box. And order confirmation and stuff. This should be the actual Ibanez box. Yep, there we go.
What was that?
Oh, just a nice smile at my new guitar. And some staples on this end here. I'm probably opening this all wrong, but I don't really care. Whatever gets the box open without
Gently.
breaking anything, yeah. One more bit of tape over here.
Fingers.
I got you. I use a box cutter every day at my job, please. Well, and wait for it. Let's do this right.
Is it the pearl?
Oh, that looks so cool. I've only ever seen this thing in black. Ah, okay. Oh, let's see.
Careful, careful, careful.
Oh,
yeah,
look
it's
at that.
pretty.
That is amazing. It feels so natural, too. That's the thing. It doesn't feel really thick, which is something I tried.
The neck looks shorter to me than the carbon.
It does. I picked up the box and I realized it was kind of shorter than I thought it would be.
Yeah, the neck, it looks a lot shorter than the carbon.
Mm-hmm. 5-way selector. Yeah. No, the neck is actually either the same or just a tad longer, but it does look shorter. I think it's the headstock is the headstock is obviously longer because it has to be. So I think that's it. But
does that have that thing in the back?
Such a cool color. Yep.
Yep.
It has
So
a little
it's
bevel
nice and comfortable.
right there. Yep. I prefer to play standing up, but you know when I am sitting down, that's very nice right there. 7 strings. All right, let's.
What was that price tag?
$3.99, and when I got it, Musician's Friend had a sale on 15% off, so I got it for $339.99. No sales tax because of the state that we're in, and but I mean, brand new, good-looking 7-string guitar for that price is awesome.
Thank you, Seth.
Yeah, you wish.
And Abe has a solution for that extra string that they accidentally put on there. Would you like to explain that?
Yeah.
Just take the clippers and clip it off and use it as a spare.
Right.
Do I have my pick sitting over here somewhere? There it is. Yep. Pick. And we want to make sure that we take off the keys. I love that color. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a nice finish.
I've not seen. The thing is, like, I've looked up a lot of videos and reviews and stuff about this guitar. I've never seen anyone with this color. I've only ever seen it with black. Everyone just gets black. So, let's see. I know we got some other stuff here. Oh, they give us a little cable, some Allen wrenches. Okay. And owner's manual.
We weren't allowed to open the box if he wasn't here.
Yeah, no. I told him I'm going to be the one to open the box, period.
Oh, yeah. That's what he told us.
Uh-huh.
Isn't that nice?
I'm his best friend. He said I could.
No one touches this but me.
Ooh.
This is mine. Alright, let's see here.
Wearing a Fender shirt playing Ibanez guitar.
Yeah, well, you know. I don't think I would want a Fender. Fenders, I don't know. They're more meant for like jazz and stuff, but it's not really what I play. I just like the guitar, or I like the shirt because it has a guitar on it. That's about it. It's so weird. That was weird for me because I'm so used to going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That was weird. I got to the B and I was like, okay, I'm done. Oh wait. Yeah. So the reason I have the G tuned to a G flat is because if you ignore the high E string here, if you use a 6th string in B standard tuning, it's actually B, E, A, D, G flat, B, and it just makes the pentatonic scale work. Like that. If you don't have your G string tuned to a G flat, then it kind of messes up the scales and stuff. But yeah, this is. So let's try the switch here. Let's try that one that I have been working on. Wow, okay. Its bending is different than the carbon. I imagine a lot is very different, but
It's got a thicker neck, doesn't it?
slightly. Not
It's
so much
beveled,
thicker.
but it's thicker.
The neck isn't so much thicker as it is wider. It's wider because it has to be because it has the extra string, but the neck is not actually like thicker. Which I tried. One of the first 7 strings I tried when I went to Guitar Center was a Schecter brand, and that's when I got second thoughts about getting a 7 string because their necks are thick. Like my hand had to be like this around a Schecter neck. It was crazy. But then I played a Dean a little while later, and the guy told me that the Ibanez neck will be more similar to the Dean, and it feels very natural. It doesn't feel like a stretch to get to this other string. And I don't have big hands. I don't think that's probably going to translate to the camera very well, but I don't have big hands for a guitar player. So, but I don't feel like I'm reaching or anything crazy.
It doesn't look like you are.
What's that?
It doesn't look like you are.
No, it feels very natural.